All right, today we're diving deep into the world of a living legend. An animal that honestly feels like it walked straight out of prehistory and into our world. The one and only Komodo dragon.
I mean, you look at it, and that's the first thing that comes to mind, right? With that armored skin, that powerful stare. You can totally see where the dragon myths came from. But is it really just a big lizard?
Well, here's the thing. We're going to separate the fact from the folklore. Because what science has uncovered about this animal is, believe it or not, way more incredible than any story.
So let's just start with the sheer scale of this thing. The biggest males can get up to 3 meters long. That's about 10 feet. To put that in perspective, that's a lizard as long as a small car. Just let that sink in.
And they're not just long, they're heavy. They can tip the scales at 150 kilograms. That's over 330 pounds. This is a true heavyweight, a seriously powerful animal. So when you combine that size and that power, you get an apex predator. In its world, on its islands, there is absolutely nothing above the Komodo dragon on the food chain. It is king. So how did this creature, which sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, even become known to the rest of the world? It's a pretty cool story, actually, from local legend to global superstar. For centuries, it was basically a ghost story told by islanders. Then, in 1910, Dutch officials started hearing these wild rumors of a land crocodile. A couple years later, in 1912, it was officially described in a scientific paper. But here's the kicker, the thing that really made it world famous. In 1926, an expedition led by W. Douglas Burden captured the world's imagination. His stories were so dramatic that they directly inspired the 1933 classic movie King Kong. That's right, this animal is literally the inspiration for one of the most famous movie monsters of all time. Okay, so now let's pop the hood and look at the biological hardware. What exactly makes the Komodo dragon such an unbelievably effective and, let's be honest, terrifying hunter? This creature is, quite literally, built for battle. Its skin isn't just tough, it's got these tiny bones woven into it, called osteoderms. It's like a natural coat of chainmail. And that long, yellow, forked tongue, it's constantly tasting the air, and it can detect a potential meal from up to 9.5 kilometers away. That's almost 6 miles. And of course, the teeth. About 60 of them, razor sharp and constantly being replaced, so its bite is always ready to go. And we have to talk more about those teeth, because this is where things get really prehistoric. They have what scientists call ziffident teeth. That means they're flat from side to side, curved backwards, and serrated like a steak knife. Now, why does that matter? Because it's the exact same dental design found in some of the most fearsome predators ever, like the theropod dinosaurs. It is a killer blueprint that has worked for millions of years. For the longest time, this was a huge scientific debate. Everybody had a theory. Was it just a mouthful of nasty bacteria, or was something else going on? The answer completely changed how we see this animal. Okay, so the old theory, the one I bet a lot of us grew up with, was all about septic saliva. The idea was that its mouth was just so full of deadly bacteria that one bite would lead to a fatal infection. Makes sense, right? Well, it turns out it was wrong. In 2009, scientists used MRI scans and found 2 complex venom glands in the dragon's lower jaw. This venom is no joke. It's a sophisticated cocktail that stops blood from clotting and sends the prey into rapid shock. So it's not a slow, lingering death from infection, it's a quick, efficient takedown from a highly evolved venom. But hey, it's not all about the hunt. The life of a Komodo dragon is filled with some truly surprising behaviors, and one of the most incredible reproductive tricks in the entire animal kingdom. So it all starts with this epic showdown. To compete for females, the males actually rise up on their back legs and wrestle each other. It looks like a scene from a dinosaur movie. The winner gets the territory and the right to mate. After that, the female lays about 20 eggs. And she's a pretty clever mom, too. She'll often dig a bunch of fake nests to throw off any predators looking for a snack. So, after a long 7 or 8 month wait, the babies hatch. But they don't stick around on the ground. The first thing these little guys do is scramble up into the trees. And they spend the first few years of their lives up there. So the question is, what are they hiding from? And here's the brutal truth. The #1 threat to a young Komodo dragon is an adult Komodo dragon.
Yep, juvenile dragons can make up as much as 10% of an adult's diet. It sounds harsh, but this cannibalism is actually a pretty effective, if gruesome, way to make sure the huge adults have enough food to survive when other prey is hard to find.
Okay, now think about this for a second. It's a classic evolutionary problem. What if a storm or a current washes a single female dragon over to a brand new island where there are no other dragons? How could she possibly start a new population all by herself?
The answer is a biological superpower called parthenogenesis. It's essentially a virgin birth. A lone female can lay unfertilized eggs that will actually develop and hatch. And because of their specific chromosome genetics, all of those offspring will be male. It's an absolutely incredible evolutionary failsafe. She can then eventually mate with her own sons to create a brand new, thriving population from scratch. It's just an amazing strategy for survival. But for all its ancient resilience and its incredibly adaptations, the Komodo dragon is now facing a set of modern threats that it might not be able to overcome on its own. And that's the bottom line. This isn't just a potential problem in the future. Right now, the IUCN, the global authority on these things, officially classifies the world's biggest lizard as endangered.
And the dangers are coming from all sides. You've got habitat loss from human activity and the poaching of their main food sources like deer. But the really big one, the existential threat, is climate change. Scientists project that by the year 2050, rising sea levels could wipe out up to 71% of their low-lying island habitat. A devastating number.
And this number is why that threat is so terrifying. A 2013 count put the entire wild population at just over 3,000. That is not a big number. It shows you just how fragile their existence really is. And that really brings us to the final, sobering question. This animal is a master survivor. It's an ancient creature that has weathered millions of years of change on this planet. But the real test, the final boss, is whether this real-life dragon can survive the world that we have created.